Hey there, you fabulous folks. I hope your day has been absolutely awesome. We're back for another exciting episode of What If Naruto Was the Conqueror of the Shinobi World. A big shout out to the amazing author behind this fanfiction and show them some love. You'll find their details in the description box below. If this what if scenario is getting your imagination going, drop a comment down below and share your thoughts. And don't forget to explore more mind-blowing what ifs on the channel. Alright, without further ado, let's jump right into this video. Team 10. As Naruto, Ino, and Shikamaru made their way to their favorite barbecue restaurant, they noticed some odd behaviors coming from the villagers as they passed by them. The trio knew they would usually glare at the blonde Uzumaki every time he crossed their path, but not this time. Some of the villagers were actually smiling at him and looked at him with respect and admiration in their eyes. Word must have gone out about Naruto's heroics in both Land of Tea and Waves. Some of the rumors were slightly exaggerated, but the constant topic of their conversation was that Naruto was reported to be a great hero by both countries. There were some who denied this claim, of course, and declared that the demon brat was lying, so he could steal the rightful glory from the great Uchiha-sama. While the lack of hostility was a great sense of relief for the blonde Uzumaki, Ino and Shikamaru were simply disgusted by this. It was not too long ago that these people tormented Naruto, and now, just because he did the village an excellent service by establishing trade partnerships with two other countries, they finally see him as a hero now. Bastards. Every last one of them, Ino thought with hate in her eyes. These people should consider themselves lucky that Naruto is not the vengeful type, Shikamaru thought with narrowed eyes. But apparently, Naruto can sense their negative emotions. Eyes, calm down. You know I can literally feel your anger, right? Naruto asked with a calm tone. No way, Whiskers. It took you to risk your life for these people to finally acknowledge you. I recognize some of those smiling bastards. They were the same people who often call you the D-word every time they see you. Ino said, with venom in her voice. She's right, Naruto. Shikamaru agreed. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. A part of me wants to slap those fake, forced smiles off their faces, as well. But there's no point dwelling on the past. We must look to the future. And if the villagers will finally get off my back, my life will be much easier. Naruto said with a soft smile. How could you be so calm? Who's to say they won't turn on you if you make a mistake? Ino pointed out. Then I won't make a mistake, Naruto joked. I'm serious, Naruto-kun. I don't want you to go through all that hell again. Ino yelled out with great concern in her voice. What do you want me to do, Ino-chan? Call them all out for being ignorant bastards, and beat their hateful asses to a pulp, Naruto asked. Yes. And I'll help. Ino declared, with fire in her eyes. Well, I'm not completely on board with the whole mass ass-kicking thing, but I do see what Ino is trying to say. The villagers are finally starting to see you in a new light, Naruto. And it only takes one mistake for it to disappear. Shikamaru pointed it out. Hearing things from his girlfriend and his lazy best friend was enough to make him think for a moment. I guess you're right. Then I know what I must do if I reach the final stage of the Chunin exams. Naruto said. And that will be? Shikamaru asked. Probably something dramatic. But why spoil it? No, Naruto said with a smirk. Humph, troublesome blonde, Shikamaru said with a tired sigh and a lazy smile. I still take offense to that, by that way. But whatever plan you're thinking, Naruto-kun, you know I'm always with you. Ino said with a warm smile as she held on to Naruto's hand. Thank you, Ino-chan, Naruto said with a smile before he kissed Ino on her cheek, causing her to blush a bit. She absolutely loves it when he does that. As the Genin trio continued their walk, Naruto sighed in annoyance when he felt 3 small chakra signatures behind them. Am I the only one who noticed that we're being followed? Naruto asked his 2 teammates. Apparently, the trio were being followed by a square rock. No. That rock has been following us for almost 5 minutes now. Shikamaru said. Why didn't you say anything then? Ino whispered with a tick mark on her forehead. Too troublesome, Shikamaru answered lazily. They let the rock follow them for another minute until Ino couldn't take it anymore. Okay, that's it. That is the worst disguise ever. There's no such thing as a perfectly square rock with holes in them. It's totally obvious. Ino yelled out in annoyance. Sigh, Konohamaru, please come out of there, you look ridiculous. Naruto said as he could sense the little Sarutobi's chakra. Just what you'd expect from the boss himself. The box said with his squeaky voice. Boom. The box then suddenly exploded, releasing a lot of smoke and confetti. And when the smoke clears, 3 children appeared, coughing their lungs out. Cough cough, darn it, Yuden. That's too much exploding powder. Konohamaru called out to one of the other kids next to him while still coughing. The trio of kids then turned their heads upwards and saw Team 10 staring at them with confusion in their eyes. And the confusion only intensified when the kids started posing in a very dramatic fashion, as colorful backgrounds appeared behind them. I'm Mogi, the sexiest girl in class at the Kunoichi preschool. Check me out. The female of the trio declared while making her sassy pose. I love math. Call me Yuden. The boy with glasses declared with a nerdy pose. I am the most brilliant ninja in the village. Konohamaru. Konohamaru declared proudly as he made his tough guy pose. The three of us together are the Konohamaru Ninja Squad. Here we are. The trio said in unison and made their final team pose. Team 10 was so shocked and confused that they did not know what to say. Did that little girl said that she was sexy? Ino thought with a raised eyebrow. Did that boy said he loved math? Shikamaru thought. All Naruto could do was chuckle at the children's enthusiasm. Hahaha, hello again, Konohamaru-kun. Quite a flashy entrance you got there. Naruto said with a warm smile, happy to see his goofy little brother figure again. He then noticed the identical red clothes they were all wearing on their heads. Why are you guys wearing those red clothes around your heads? Naruto pointed to the red headbands they were all wearing that had the Uzumaki clan symbol at the center. Hehehe, because your jacket is red, and we want to be just like you. We even sewn the Uzumaki clan symbol on it. We want to make sure everyone knows how awesome you are. Konohamaru said with a proud grin, wanting to be just like a big brother figure. But this only made Ino and Shikamaru raise an eyebrow. Naruto-kun, did they just form a cult in your name? Ino asked Naruto with a deadpan look. Did you? Naruto asked the trio with a raised eyebrow. No. We just want to show everyone how awesome you are. Besides, everyone is starting to say that you are a hero now, Konohamaru said with a childish grin. I see. Well, I'm very flattered, Naruto said with a warm smile as he rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. Hearing that Naruto approves was enough to make the trio of kids smile brightly. Teehee, see. I told you guys, he was cool. Konohamaru said. And very handsome too, Mogi added while batting her eyelashes for the blonde Uzumaki. Thank you. Naruto responded awkwardly. So Naruto-sama, do you have some free time now? Mogi cheerfully asked Naruto as she reaches for his hand. Well, my team and I were actually going to get some lunch after a long day of training, Naruto answered. What? But you said you play ninja with us today. Konohamaru reminded disappointedly. Oh, is that right? Sorry, I actually forgot, Naruto admitted while rubbing his hair embarrassingly. Ino wanted to point out that it was kind of odd for Naruto to play ninja when he is already one. But she then realized that the trio of children just wanted to play with him because they absolutely worship him. All she could do was giggle at how cute it was. Teehee, it's kinda cute that a ninja would play ninja, Ino said with a warm smile and an adorable giggle. Haha, yeah, I guess that's the irony. Naruto said, smiling back at her. Konohamaru then noticed the pretty platinum blonde Yamanaka and wanted to ask. Who is she, boss? Konohamaru asked. Oh, this is Ino. And the guy next to her is Shikamaru. Naruto introduced his team. Hi, there, Ino greeted with a pretty smile. What's up, Shikamaru greeted lazily, with his hands in his pocket. When Konohamaru looked at Naruto, and then to Ino, and then back to Naruto, and then back to Ino, all the little Sarutobi could do was smirk teasingly at the blonde Uzumaki. Oh, you've been busier than I thought, boss, Konohamaru said teasingly. Huh. Naruto didn't know what he meant. Is she your Geo friend? Konohamaru asked while holding his pinky up and grinning childishly. Yes, Ino-chan is my girlfriend. We've been together for 4 years now. Naruto said casually like it was no big deal. But what he said shocked the young trio as their eyes widened and their jaws were hanging open. You had a girlfriend, Konohamaru started. Since you were 10. Yuden finished with the same disbelief tone. Yes. Naruto answered awkwardly. What happened next surprised the Genin trio, as Konohamaru and Yuden dropped down to their knees and started to bow before Naruto, while crying their eyes out dramatically. You are God, Naruto-sama Nai-san. We are not worthy. We are not worthy. All Naruto, Ino, and Shikamaru could do was sweat drop to the scene before them. Okay, this just got a lot weirder, Shikamaru said with a raised eyebrow. Boys, please don't do that, the floor is dirty, Ino said with concern in her voice, while trying to mask her growing laughter. And she's a goddess. And she's very nice too. Konohamaru and Yuden cried out in unison. Thank you, hehehe. Ino accepted the compliment embarrassingly. Mogi, on the other hand, could not contain her jealousy for the blonde Yamanaka. Naruto is a handsome boy and her idol, and she has already developed a schoolgirl crush on him. And she absolutely didn't like the idea of other girls being with him. Humph, she's not that pretty. She's a little top-heavy if you ask me. Mogi said while crossing her arms and pouting. But apparently, after what she boldly said out loud, everything became dead silent, as an aura of death was radiating from Ino. The blonde Yamanaka had developed her assets quite early over the years. Her breasts are significantly bigger than most girls her age. Apparently, training her body almost every day to become a strong kunoichi has made her physique appear very athletic yet maturely feminine at the same time. What did you say, Gaki? Ino asked Mogi dangerously. Mogi was trembling in fear and sweating bullets when she saw the aura of death around Ino. Run, Mogi, run, Naruto said nervously, which made the little girl sprint in the opposite direction, but Ino was right behind her tail. As the Yamanaka chases down the jealous little girl, she was so blinded by her rage that she didn't see where she was going and accidentally bumps into someone, sending both of them to the ground. Oh, Ino groaned while she held her head in pain. But she still hasn't realized that she was still on top of someone. As Naruto, Shikamaru, Konohamaru, and Yuden had finally arrived at the scene, the four boys couldn't help but feel slightly aroused at the sight before them, as the person that was under Ino was a pretty young girl. Wait, Naruto thought, surprised. The girl had caramel tanned skin, short mint green hair, and bright orange eyes. She appears to be a ninja, as her outfit consisted of a short sleeveless white midriff shirt with fishnet armor underneath, long white armlets, and fishnet shorts with a short white apron skirt over it. Her forehead protector was worn on her right arm. Ino-chan. Naruto said, blushing his cheeks out, and pointed to the pretty girl beneath Ino. Ino turned her head to Naruto when he called her and was confused when she saw him blushing. And when she turned her head to where his finger was pointing at, she was surprised to see a smiling girl beneath her that she knew very well. She jumped up, leaving the smiling girl on the ground. Ino yelled out when she got back on her feet. But the girl was still smiling, as her back was still on the ground. Fu-chan, Naruto called her, surprised. The pretty girl's eyes found Naruto the moment she saw him, jumping right at his arm before crushing him with a big hug, rubbing her cheek against his, much to his embarrassment. Naruto-kun. It has been so long, she said excitedly, with a cute smile across her face. It's good to see you, Fu-chan, how have you been? Naruto asked, returning the hug, much to the girl's delight. Ino rolled her eyes at them. By now, she knew her boyfriend was a girl magnet, and she couldn't really blame them. Naruto was handsome, strong, funny, charming, and knew how to use his fingers. She thought the last part with a massive flush on her face. A week ago, after a date, Ino invited Naruto to her home. Sadly, her parents were at home. Her father almost wanted to kick Naruto out for dating his little innocent princess. Thankfully, her mother calmed him down a bit. That night, Ino and Naruto had ended up in her bed, making out. The blonde Uzumaki had used a seal to block out any kind of sound to reach outside the room. That night, Naruto had given her the first orgasm, making her scream his name. They hadn't gone further because of her father charging inside to check if everything terrible was happening to Ino. The blonde girl escaped her naughty thoughts when Shikamaru nudged her shoulder. And this is Konohamaru and his friends, Yuden and Mogi. Naruto then introduced the trio of children behind him. It's a pleasure to meet you, Fu said with a bright smile. I'm very sorry for running into you, Fu. It's just that Mogi here has a big mouth. Ino said while glaring daggers at the little girl behind Naruto. Humph, I stand by my statement. A kunoichi doesn't need that much baggage. It will just be a burden. Mogi pouted and turned her head away while crossing her arms. But this was enough to piss off the Yamanaka once more. No wonder her affinity is fire. Why, you little. Tell that to Lady Tsunade. Ino yelled out as she continued to chase Mogi, who resumed running for her life. Sigh, here we go again. Shikamaru said as he, Konohamaru, and Yuden went after them. Naruto wanted to stay and talk with Fu a little longer, but decided to go after Ino, so she wouldn't accidentally kill the jealous little girl. Well, it was nice meeting you again, Fu-chan. But I gotta go now. Take care, best friend. Naruto said with a smile as he waved goodbye at her and chased after Ino. Fu then dropped her head down in disappointment, saddened that Team 10 had to go, but then she raised her head up when she remembered what Naruto had just called her. I really hope he sees me as more than just a best friend, Fu thought with a small blush. With Mogi. Mogi was still running as fast as she could from the fuming Yamanaka. But when she made a sharp turn, she accidentally crashed into another shinobi that was around the corner. And this one was not at all friendly like the last. Apparently, the person she ran into was a male shinobi from Suna. He wore a Bunraku puppeteer's costume, a black baggy, full body suit with a red and yellow circle on the front. He also wears a black hood which covered his head completely and had cat-like ears and his forehead protector on his forehead. Bunraku puppeteers usually wear black outfits and hoods, so as not to distract from their puppets. He also sported a triangular purple face paint design. Damn it, brat, that hurt. The male Suna shinobi said as he picked up Mogi by the collar, getting ready to apply some punishment on the scared little girl. No, please, I'm sorry, Mogi apologized fearfully, but the boy that was holding her collar didn't care. Leave the kid alone, Conqueror. She apologized. Said the female Suna Kunoichi, that is standing next to the now identified Conqueror, with an annoyed tone. She has teal eyes and sandy blonde hair, which is gathered into 4 consecutive pigtails. Her outfit consists of a single light purple colored off-the-shoulders garment that extended to halfway down her thighs, with a scarlet sash tied around her waist. In addition to incorporating fishnet worn over her shoulders and legs, specifically on her right calf and her left thigh, she also wore her black forehead protector around her neck. No, Tamari, I've gotta to teach this gaki some respect. The now named Conqueror said with a sadistic smirk. Fine, but if you get in trouble, I'm not helping. The now identified Tamari said with an annoyed sigh. Naruto, Ino, and Shikamaru arrived just in time, with Konohamaru and Yuden behind them. Hey. Put her down, you jerk. Ino yelled out, getting the attention of the Suna ninja duo. Ha, get lost, Blondie. Unless you want to be next, Conqueror threatens with a smirk. Naruto never likes threats, especially towards his friends or loved ones, which he would gladly kill anyone who dares to. But when he notices their headbands, he realizes it won't be wise to start an international incident between two allied hidden villages. He then decided to defuse the situation before it escalated any further. "Miss, I advise you put the girl down," Naruto asked calmly. "What are you talking about?" "I'm not the one holding her," Temari asked, confused, but was lightly blushing when she saw Naruto's handsome face. "I'm actually talking to her," Naruto points at Conqueror. "The ugly one that is holding Mogi over there," Naruto said with a straight face to Conqueror, who was growling furiously at the blonde Uzumaki. "What the hell? I'm a boy, you idiot," Conqueror yelled out, embarrassed and angered at the same time. "Then why the hell are you wearing a full-body catsuit and makeup?" Naruto asked with a raised eyebrow, which causes Temari to giggle. "Teehee, cute and funny. And the one with the pineapple hair is not bad either. It's like this village is a breeding ground for hot guys," Temari thought with a blush. "It's not makeup. It's war paint," Conqueror yelled out, trying to defend his pride. "Your teammates' giggles say otherwise," Shikamaru stated, which made Conqueror turn his head and saw Temari couldn't contain her giggle. "Traitor," Conqueror thought. "Look, I don't care about your confused sexuality. I won't judge. But please put the girl down, and no one has to get hurt," Naruto stated, his tone turning sharper by the minute. "I'm teaching her some manners, asshole. And after I'm done with her, I'm going to teach you some too," Kokoro said as he made a fist and prepared to punch Mugi's face. Naruto instantly vanished in a blur of speed, reappearing behind Conqueror with a kunai at his throat. Temari was caught off guard by the sudden burst of speed and was about to take out the large fan behind her back to defend her brother, but then she felt her body completely paralyzed. "I don't think so," Shikamaru said, as his shadow was now connected to Temari's. "Now, would you be so kind as to put her down?" Gently Naruto whispered into Conqueror's ear, which sent shivers down his spine, as he immediately let go of Mogi. She then ran all the way to Konohamaru and hugged him. "Konohamaru, take your friends and leave. Now," Naruto ordered with a serious tone. "Right, boss. Let's go, guys," Konohamaru said as he led Yuden and Mogi away. Naruto then returns his attention to Conqueror. "Now, let me remind you that attacking a civilian from an allied village is a crime punishable by death. But I think I'll leave the punishment to your not-so-happy-looking teammate," Naruto said as his eyes were locked on the short red-headed Suna Shinobi that was hanging upside down on a tree branch. Everyone heard what Naruto said, and their heads turned to the direction of the red-headed ninja. When Conqueror and Temari saw him, their eyes were widened in fear and panic. The red-haired boy has fair skin, green eyes, and short auburn messy hair. He lacks distinctive pupils or eyebrows, and has a tanuki-like black rings around his eyes. He even has a kanji for love on the left side of his forehead. He wears a black bodysuit with an open neck, t-shirt-like sleeves, and almost full-length leggings. With this, he wears a white cloth over his right shoulder and the left side of his hips. He has a wide leather band from his left shoulder to his right hip, with which he carries his sand gourd, and around which he wraps his forehead protector. He had a strong aura of death around him. "Conqueror, stand down," the Reddit ordered with a monotone voice. "Georgigar," Conqueror said fearfully. In Naruto's mindscape. "Careful boy. That's Shukaku's Jinchuriki Kurama warned." "Another Jinchuriki. Don't get too excited. Shukaku is an asshole." "Wow, did you just curse?" "Yeah, so what? You do it all the time. Anyway, you need to really watch your back with that one." "What abilities does he have?" "Shukaku is the one-tailed raccoon. He has an ability called Giant Near Magnet Release, which enables him and his Jinchuriki to control sand." "Wow, that's awesome. How come you don't have any cool powers like that? Ungrateful brat. You have more chakra than any living being in this world. Not to mention, my regenerative healing and the power to sense evil and negative emotions. I guess that is cool, but is that all? For the most powerful Biju. Cheeky brat, well, there's the Kyuubi Chakra mode, KCM, and the Barian mode." "What's the Barian mode?" "That mode is not important. All you need to know is to watch out with this scar. I can sense that Shukaku has twisted the boy into becoming his killmongering puppet. And also, he hates me, by the way." "What? Why?" "He didn't like the fact that I pointed out that a tailed beast's strength is measured by the number of tails, therefore viewing him as the weakest." "Wow, really?" "Yes, and no. At first, I was just fucking with him cause he's my youngest brother. But over the centuries, that theory was proven to be correct. A tail represents the amount of chakra we have. And I have 9, so that makes me the most powerful." "Noted. And thanks for the history lesson." Back in the real world, Naruto was then snapped back to reality when he heard Gaara was speaking to his teammate. Sometimes even Naruto forgets that an hour-long conversation in his mind was actually 3 seconds in the real world. "You're an embarrassment to our village. Have you forgotten the reason why we came all the way here to Konoha?" Gaara said with a dangerous tone to his older brother and teammate. "Please listen to me, Gaara." They lashed out first. "Shut up. or I'll kill you. Gar interrupted him as he shot his killing intent towards Conqueror, which caused the war paint-wearing boy's legs to tremble slightly. Understood, I was wrong, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Conqueror apologized desperately. Ino and Shikamaru were shocked that he would threaten his own teammates. Gar then turns his attention to Naruto. I apologize for my brother's actions. It won't happen again, Gar promised. Naruto nodded and released his kunai from Conqueror's throat, which made Shikamaru releases his shadow from Tamari's. This guy just screams Jinchuriki. His chakra levels are off the charts. Not to mention that bloodlust in his eyes. Naruto thought. He managed to get behind Conqueror with ease. This one might be interesting. Gar thought, amused, but then he heard Shikaku's voice in his head. Be wary of that one, my son. That goddamn fox is within him. It would please me if you bring me his blood. Shikaku warned, enraged when he senses his big brother within the blonde boy. Yes, Mother Gar happily obliged. Gar then sand Shunshin in front of Naruto as he wanted to get a better look at his next target. Instead of being afraid like what Conqueror and Tamari expected, Naruto simply approached Gar, staring him down without a hint of fear in his eyes. It was an intense stare down that lasted almost a minute until Naruto's face turned into a smirk, and he decided to greet his fellow Jinchuriki properly. It's nice to finally meet you, One Tail, Naruto said with a carefree tone, which caused Tamari and Conqueror to turn pale, while Ino's and Shikamaru's eyes widened in realization. Likewise, Nine Tails. Mother says you are strong. I'll prove my existence by killing you. Gar declared with a sinister smirk. Naruto wanted to joke that Shikaku is a male, but his thoughts were broken when he heard the sounds of a slow clap on his left. He and Gar turned their heads and saw Kumo Kunoichi approaching them. The Kunoichi the blonde hadn't seen for a long time. She had long, straight blonde hair bound with taut bandages and dark eyes, and she wore red lipstick. She wore a short-sleeved black and purple blouse and black pants, both of which had a design similar to clouds on them, purple fingerless gloves, and a chain of blue beads wound around her left hand. She also wore the standard Sunagakure forehead protector, sandals, and a kunai holster, which was strapped to her right thigh. She also wore bandages around her arms and legs, as well as a red belt around her waist. Bravo, boys. You just proved that even allied villages can be a bunch of dicks to each other. The blonde Kumo Kunoichi jested with a smirk. Who are you? Gar asked with narrowed eyes. Oh, where are my manners? I'm Yugito Nai. Nice to meet you, losers. The now-named Yugito said with a smirk as she approached the Jinchuriki duo. Okay, seriously, is there some sort of reunion that I don't know about? Kurama asked himself with a frustrated sigh. Yeah, I remember Yugito has Matatabi. What are her abilities? Matatabi. The two-tailed cat. She is able to grant her Jinchuriki, her powerful blue fire. It burns 3 times hotter than any regular fire. So you better only use your strongest suit and jutsus if you face against her. Your wood style might work as well, but it's debatable if wood can beat fire. Also, she enables her Jinchuriki to have cat-like traits and abilities, such as enhanced senses, flexibility, agility, and retractable claws. Yikes, is that all? No, this might not be important, but Matatabi is, how do I put this delicately, always erotically charged. Is that fancy talk for horny? Yes. Naruto was then snapped back to reality when he saw the blonde Kumo girl stare at him with wonder. He then greeted her with his bright smile. It's nice to meet you too, Yugito, or should I call you, Two Tails, Naruto said with a smirk. Yugito's eyes widened, finally recognizing the blonde in front of her. Naruto-kun, she said before engulfing him in a tight hug, much to Naruto's embarrassment, who could feel her well-developed breasts against his chest. Good to see you, Yugi-chan, he greeted her back with a smile. Yugito pulled back, taking a good look at him. He had grown handsome, especially his whiskers that made him cute. She was about to ask how he had been the last few years, but apparently, someone was screaming in her head. By the sage of the 6 paths. Naruto has become too worthy. Claim him now, kitty. Matatabi yelled out, as her voice was filled with lust. Shut up, Matatabi. Yugito shouted back with an embarrassed blush. Her thoughts were broken when she heard Gar spoke to her. Stay out of this, Kumo ninja, Gar ordered dangerously. Fat chance. The only other Jinchuriki I know is B, and I rather talk to one that doesn't rap every time he talks, Yugito said as she firmly stood her ground. It was now an intense stare down between the 3 Jinchurikis. They could literally feel the overwhelming power that was radiating from each other. But the tension was broken when Fu suddenly appeared in the stare down, standing next to Naruto, with her white eyes glued to his face. AHHH Naruto and Yugito yelled out in surprise at the mint-haired girl's sudden appearance, while Gar simply glared at her. Naruto was in disbelief that he didn't even sense her presence. For someone who has Biju-level chakra reserves like her, she was able to slip past his sensory ability without him noticing. Fu, where did you come from? Naruto asked, but Fu interrupted him when she leaned her head closer to his face. I have been training with Chimay to master some secret abilities she has, Fu explained with a cute smile. Hahaha, look at this, 4 out of 9 already. Oh, and she's 7 tails, by the way. Naruto introduced Fu to a confused Yugito and an annoyed Gar. It's a pleasure to meet you, Fu said with a bright smile. Sure. Suo, 1, Yugito points at Gar 7, she points at Fu and 9. She points at Naruto last, trying to get some clarity of which Jinchuriki the other two were. And the 9 is hot. Natatobi added in. Quiet you. Yugito yelled out in her thoughts with an embarrassed blush. Are these people your friends too, Naruto? Fu asked her first ever friend. Yugito-chan is an old friend, but I don't really know Gar, Naruto stated. How wonderful. Then they can be our friends too. Fu said as she approached Yugito. You are a girl. We can be girlfriends. We can paint our nails, try clothes, and talk about cute boys. Fu says to Yugito as she happily spins around and stops when she looks at Gar. She then turns her attention back to Yugito. I found a boy. Shall we talk about how gloomy he looks? Fu asked with a smile. This immediately made Yugito's sweat dropped, while Conqueror and Temari were having their jaws dropped. Is she really the Seven Tails? Yugito asked Naruto. Yes, Naruto confirmed. But Gar had enough of this nonsense. Silence, silly girl. Before I kill you too. Gar threatened Fu. But Fu was oblivious to such threats. Thank you for your honesty, I will make sure to remember that, Fu said happily, with a smile never leaving her face. Is this really happening? Conqueror and Temari thought in disbelief that the 3 foreign shinobis in front of them were not even afraid of Gar. I assume you are all here to participate in the Chunin exams, Naruto stated, hoping that these foreign ninjas are here for a good reason. That's right. I am combat ready, Fu said with a childish salute. Really? You don't really strike me as ready, Yugito pointed out. But Fu simply smirks at this. Appearances can be deceiving. After all, a shinobi's greatest weapon is deception. Fu said with a smile that sent shivers down Yugito's spine. Gar then turns his attention to Naruto. The silly girl said that your name is Naruto, correct? Gar asked. Yes, Naruto Uzumaki. And you are Gar, right? Naruto asked back. Yes. I am Gar of the desert. I look forward to meeting you 3 in the exams. I'll enjoy spilling your blood. Especially yours, silly girl. Gar said to Fu with a sadistic smirk. How exciting. I look forward to spilling your blood as well, Gar-kun. Fu said excitedly. She did not just say that, Conqueror thought with wide eyes. Does she have a death wish or something? Temari asked herself in disbelief. Humph, Gar said as he turned his head away from the 3 Jinchuriki. Let's go, Gar said to his siblings' teammates as he led them away from the scene. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you again, Naruto-kun. But I have to go now too. See you around. Yugito said with a flirtatious tone as she shunned away to find her teammates. Aren't you going to go too, Fu-chan? Naruto asked the mint-haired girl. Yes, I have to go as well. My teammates won't be worried if I'm gone, but I always enjoy disappointing them. Goodbye, Naruto-kun. Fu said with a smile as she happily shunted away. Ino and Shikamaru then approached behind Naruto as they watched Fu shunting away. This exam just got a whole lot interesting, Naruto stated with a smirk. Kumo teams. So you meet Naruto beat questioned the team, but mostly Yugito. 2 Kumo teams had just arrived on Konoha. Team 11 and Team 1 were Yugito, Nabui, and Atsui. Their sensei was Dari, the Dark Panther, known for his Dark Lightning ability, which was said to be on par with Hokage's lightning armor, one of the strongest jutsus to exist. The second team, Team 11, belonged to B, the Jinchuriki of 8 Tails, an S-rank shinobi of Kumo. His team consisted of Samui, Kari, and Amar. B was known around the shinobi world as the second perfect Jinchuriki to exist. The first was the 4th Mizukage, Yagura Karatachi. He is known to be one of the strongest shinobis of Kumo, being beaten only by the Rokage, Kushina Uzumaki, the Red Death, and Minato Namikaze, the Yellow Flash. When they arrived at Konoha, it didn't take long for the Kumo teams to get suspicious eyes from the majority of civilians and even some shinobi. Kumo teams didn't bother to acknowledge their presence, and didn't bother to say counter their insults. When some of them started calling them kidnappers, rapists, and any other name, none of them reacted, well except Kari and Atsui. They almost attacked if it wasn't for B and Dari holding them back from their ears like little kids. Kumo knew the reason was because of what happened between Kumo and Hyuga clan. Since she knew that the Chunin exams would be held in Konoha for a while, Yugito had secretly hoped that the Hokage would allow them to participate. Kumo still needed to show their strength in front of the elemental nations, and what better way to do this than beat Konoha on their own home. Since she met Naruto, the blonde Jinchuriki had quite been looking forward to meeting him again, and perhaps becoming something more, but that didn't mean she would allow herself to lose if it came to fighting. If that were the case, she would give it all she had, especially with someone like Naruto. You call for us, Hokage-sama. Nabui questioned the Hokage. Team 1 had been training when an Anbu arrived, informing them that the Hokage wanted them in the office. Dari had been confused, since he had informed the Hokage that he would spend the whole month training his team. Especially Yugito, since she still needed to fight on her semi-Biju mode, without the risk of hurting or even killing her opponent. What do you think the Hokage wants? Nabui had questioned her sensei with a calculating look. Atsui just groaned since he was having a good time looking at the beautiful sight from the top of the mountains they were training on. Yugito simply waited for her sensei to answer. Derry had shrugged his shoulders, already having a feeling about why he wanted them there. Let's see what he wants. I hope it is not dull, he spoke. Arriving at the office, Yugito raised an eyebrow when she saw Samui, Carrie, and Amoy in the office as well, especially her least favorite person in Kumo. Dodge, big brother, what is that Yao wanted from the two best teams in Kumo history, B asked, but more like rapping. Seriously, when is he going to understand that his voice is horrible? Yugito questioned herself with clear annoyance on her face. His eyebrows twitched before slamming his fist on his head, sending him crashing against the wall. Be quiet, B, this is an important matter, I shouted at his little brother, who was trying to get out of the wall with the help of his students, except Samui, who rolled her eyes at his uncool behavior. Wanting to get over this dull meeting, Darius stepped forward before clearing his throat. What's the matter, Rikage-sama? Releasing a deep sigh from his throat, I sat back on his chair, his back leaning against the back of the chair. The Chunin exams are approaching. This time, Konoha is holding them. Usually, I wouldn't send any team to Konoha due to a rivalry, but I have exchanged words with the third Hokage. I'm sending 2 teams there, Duri and B. Your teams are going to Konoha. Are you ready for the exams? He questioned them with a rough voice. Yugito found herself smiling before she even realized, for a very long time, she had wanted to visit Konoha. Naruto was there, she couldn't wait to meet her friend. Friend, you say? I remember he was one heck of a man even 5 years ago, knowing Kurama and Naruto. He will probably be quite muscular, handsome, and you just imagine his quite you, Yugito hissed mentally, but the effect of her friend's words were already affecting her head with naughty images of Naruto, his hands cupping her plump-ass cheeks. His lips and tongue devouring her pussy, Samui nearby with her massive. Damn it, Matatabi, I blame you for this, Yugito thought with both anger and arousal, rubbing her thighs together, trying to calm herself, her face red like a tomato. Thankfully, everyone's attention was at the Hokage, except Samui, who caught a small glimpse of Yugito, a smirk on her face. Hokage-sama, are you sure it is safe? We shouldn't forget what happened. I know what happened, Derry, no need for you to remind me, and there's no need for any of you to worry. I have prepared everything myself. Now, are your teams ready for this? Hokage questioned yet again with a more booming voice, eyeing every genin. They all straightened up instinctively. Yes, my team is ready, Derry confirmed, and so did B, despite his horrible try to start rapping again. Very well, but before you go, I want you to keep an eye on someone, Hokage informed them before pulling a photo from a drawer of his desk, sliding the photo to their side of the desk. Derry looked at it. His name is Naruto Uzumaki. He will be part of the exam. I want you to watch out for him. My spies have informed me that he's the best genin of Konoha, and not to mention he was the one that killed the Jonin several years ago. Informed them, taking all of them by surprise, except B and Yugito who already knew about it. The others were surprised to hear that a 6-year-old boy was able to beat a Jonin. Samui glanced at the photo that Derry was holding. She knew he must be Naruto, whom Yugito had mentioned several times. Not bad, he's quite good looking, especially his muscular body. Cool, the busty blonde thought, licking her pink lips slightly, feeling a spark on her stomach. She wondered how it would be to see him in person. Yugito was quite surprised by how Naruto looked now. He looked taller, muscular, and most importantly, adorable, especially his whiskers marks. What she thought of him could be summarized with a single word. Yummy yummy, both thought at the same time. Meh, he doesn't look much. Carrie commented, grabbing the photo and inspecting it closer. That's why you're still a genin, I said before his eyes settled on Derry. I want you to estimate his power during the exam, and before any of you asks, he's not an enemy. I simply want to know how strong he is, so there is no need to be hostile towards him, explained, much to the surprise of everyone except B. He knew why his big brother was saying that. It had been a month since the first scroll had arrived, so it wasn't a surprise that A wanted to know more. Why are Kage-sama? Wouldn't it make more sense to try and eliminate him during the exam? Carrie questioned with a hint of annoyance in her voice, not noticing the glare from Yugito. That is not important to you, genin. If I wanted him dead, I could have easily said so myself. I spoke firmly with a pointed look that made Carrie shiver, looking down to avoid the Hokage's piercing eyes. Yugito needed to suppress a triumphant smile on her face. She didn't dislike Carrie, but sometimes she could really get on her nerves. Your mission is to know how strong he is and win the Chunin exams, I ordered. But Yugito could tell something was amiss here, especially his voice. It sounded as if winning the exam wasn't their priority. You noticed it too, Kitty. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with your boyfriend. Matatabi spoke on her head with a half-teasing and half-serious voice. Yugito simply nodded mentally, not bothering to deny that the thought of Naruto being her boyfriend was quite tempting. Now, Yugito had just returned from meeting Naruto, and it didn't disappoint. Quite the opposite, his looks far exceeded her best imagination. Yugito had long, straight blonde hair bound with taut bandages, dark eyes, and she wore red lipstick. She wore a short-sleeved black and purple blouse and black pants, both of which had a design similar to clouds on them, purple fingerless gloves, and a chain of blue beads wound around her left hand. She also wore the standard Sunagakure forehead protector, sandals, and a kunai holster, which was strapped to her right thigh. She also wore bandages around her arms and legs, as well as a red belt around her waist. Samui is a tall, fair-skinned young woman with a curvaceous figure who generally wears a stoic, aloof expression on her face. She has blue eyes and straight shoulder-length blonde hair, cut in an asymmetrical bob style. She wears a very low-cut outfit, with mesh armor underneath, a short skirt and red hand guards, and high boots. She also carries a tandem strapped horizontally to her lower back. Atsui has neck-length blonde hair, worn in an asymmetrical bowl-cut style, and green eyes. His typical attire consists of a sleeveless version of the standard Sunagakure uniform. He also has bandages on his forearms, shin guards, and a kanji for he tattooed on his left shoulder. Nabui was a dark-skinned young woman with green eyes. She wore a standard Kumo Kunoichi uniform, along with a pair of long earrings and sandals. She wore her light gray hair pulled back into a bun with 2 bangs that fell on either side of her face. Yes, I also happened to meet Jinchuriki of 7 tails and 1 tail, Yugito informed him with a serious tone. She really didn't like the way that guy looked, especially the dark circles around his eyes. Madatabi warned her after leaving Naruto that Shikaku wasn't exactly the best one when it came to talking. He would rather fight than talk, and could easily get angry. After seeing Gar, Yugito knew her friend wasn't exaggerating. When it came to the Fu girl from Taki, she didn't know what to say. She barely knew her, but figured she could know her better later, since she seemed to be a friend of Naruto. Yugito explained to be her encounter with Naruto and the other Jinchuriki. After hearing everything, Derry cleared his throat. Very well, I want all of you to watch out for this Gar. We don't know how strong he is, but he's a Jinchuriki, so don't underestimate him, he explained to both teams, not allowing B to talk, since he would most likely start rapping. Now, everyone, you can explore the village, but I want no problems. Me and B need to inform the Hokage of our arrival, Derry explained. Soon, he left the room with B, who was walking and dancing at the same time. After the door closed, the 2 Kumo teams were mostly silent until Yugito had a good idea. So, who wants to go and eat sushi? Yugito suggested with dreamy eyes. The thought of eating fish always made her drool a little. She blamed Madatabi for this. Sure, it could be cool, Samui agreed along with the others. Yugito. Walking around a big village like Konoha was a new experience. She had been once in Suna 2 months ago, but only for a day, and that was because of some business between the Rokage and the Kazukage. Now, walking through the village, the streets were clean, without anything dirty around the stone roads, and people were walking around and minding their own business. Yugito looked up to see the faces of the past cages carved in the mountain. One could see them from any point in the village. It was quite something to look at them. It felt as if they were still protecting the village even after their deaths, watching over them like guardians. The Kage's duty ends only after their death, Yugito thought. Do you think this village has any good shops? Atsui questioned, looking around for shops selling clothes. So far only decorating shops, weapon shops, scroll shops, and photo shops. Calm down, don't be uncool, Samui said. Sometimes, her brother could really annoy her. Atsui snorted while Carrie was looking around all the time, as if someone would jump on them at any moment. You know Carrie, you might as well wear a big sign that says, "What are you all looking at?" Amway commented with an eye roll. The Reddit got annoyed at him. Hey, we are in enemy territory. These are enemy shops. We should be in the hotel, not here, Carrie explained, pointing at the various shops around them. Several civilians stopped to look at them before walking away. Calm down, little girl, nothing is going to happen, Yugito said with a deadpan look on her face. Her friend didn't seem convinced, but she just decided to ignore her. Soon they reached a restaurant. It had quite a lot of people inside. Walking inside, they soon noticed the majority of them were actually shinobi. They took 2 tables on the far left side of the restaurant. Looking at the menu, Yugito quickly found the price of sushi before doing a double take. What the hell are these prices? Atsui commented, gripping the menu tightly as if wanting to tear it apart. As the Chunin exams is a golden opportunity to earn money. Knowing how many more people will come for the exams is no surprise they raised the prices, perhaps double them, Amway commented, looking at the prices in the menu with a thoughtful look. Yugito nodded in agreement, leaving it to Amway to know about the economy. Even a year ago, when the discussion of the Hyuga clan was brought up, Amway mentioned how such an act could easily ruin the economy of any village. After all, no businessman, or any person who pays money, wants shinobi from a village known to kidnap little girls. Thankfully the Hokage didn't spread out the information. And shaming Kumo in front of everyone. The bartender soon walked up to them, asking what they wanted to eat. After he left, Yugito relaxed a bit, her head leaning against the window. She wondered if they could later go to see the Hokage faces from up close. What is that guy's problem? Amway suddenly asked, his voice low and calm, pointing to their left with his eyes. From the corner of her eyes, she could see a team of Konoha shinobi without their jonin. The one who was glaring at them had white eyes like milk. Hyuga, they all thought at the same time. Yugito clicked her tongue in annoyance. Out of all people in Konoha, Hyuga was here. Yugito told her teammates to simply ignore him, eat their food and be on their merry way. Carrie suggested breaking his teeth and shoving them down his ass. Just ignore him, for fuck's sake, he can't kill us by just looking. Samui ended their discussion with a loud tone. The others agreed, but it seemed fate had other plans, as the said Hyuga suddenly stood up, making his way towards him. Shit, Yugito thought. Carrie's hand moved to the handle of her sword. Omoi didn't seem even to acknowledge the Hyuga, as he was busy looking at the girl with kunai in her hands. Can we help you with something? Samui asked calmly, standing up and looking at the Hyuga, who narrowed his eyes dangerously, leaking a bit of kai. Yugito knew this one was strong just by his kai. The Jinchuriki girls saw as everyone's attention was directed to them. It seemed their presence had caused quite a scene. The Hyuga's hands were closing and opening, as if trying to decide whether to attack or not. After a moment of silence, the Hyuga decided to speak with a cold tone. Yes, you can help me by disappearing from this world. The Hyuga spoke, his Byakugan suddenly active, making everyone in the restaurant stand up. Yugito prepared to fight when a voice spoke just above them. I wouldn't do that if I were you, Hyuga. This comes from someone who knows your problem quite personally. The voice cut through the tension like a knife. They looked up to see Naruto, his feet on the ceiling, his eyes narrowed at the Hyuga. This is not your problem, that's where you are wrong, Hyuga. The moment they walk inside, they are under the protection of the Hokage and the rights of Chunin exams. Unless you're in the exam, you or anyone else have no right to attack unless it is self-defense or protection towards the village or its citizens. If you want to spend your life in the prison, or maybe looking over the forest with a good sharp stick up your neck, then, by all means, do it. Naruto spoke coldly, his eyes like ice. The temperature of the restaurant itself was near freezing. The water on several glasses started freezing slowly, and the breathing suddenly became visible. Yugito saw the Hyuga's face turn red with anger, but a hand on his shoulder finally stopped him. Neji, enough. Who she assumed was the jonin of the Hyuga spoke. I'm sorry, everyone, he added quickly to everyone before looking at the Kumo shinobis. Please, I'm sorry for what my student did. I will personally make sure he doesn't do it again. Before any of them could say anything, the jonin who they knew was called Neji disappeared, leaving leaves behind. Feeling that everything had turned back to normal, Yugito finally looked up to see Naruto jump down in front of their table. Good to meet again, Naruto-kun, thank you for your help, Yugito said, smiling, finally relaxing. The others took a good look at the blonde. With the first look, he seemed pretty normal, except for his whiskers, and a katana tightened to his waist. No problem, Yugi-chan, I hope you're having fun in our boring village, Naruto japed, earning a chuckle from Samui. It is fun now, how about you show us around the village? It can be quite uncool without a guide, her hand making slight contact with his hand, something Yugito wasn't sure she was okay with it or not. Of course, as a Konoha shinobi, I can show you the whole village, Naruto accepted, much to the delight of 3 girls and the annoyance of one. You make my blood run hot. I can't wait for you to show us everything, Atsui suddenly exclaimed with a raised fist up in the air, causing Naruto to take a step back. I don't swing that way. I like girls, Naruto said with his hands raised as if backing away from him. This caused Atsui's blood to run cold. Cool, Samui whispered, her eyes basically undressing him, especially his chest. This village might be cool after all, she thought with a smirk. That day, Naruto spent the entire rest of the day showing them the village. All kinds of shops, restaurants, and other good public use. Samui and Yugito didn't try to hide their affection towards him, especially the short blonde-haired girl who would occasionally put his arm on the valley of her large breasts, causing the blonde to blush every time. Naruto had to admit they were larger than Unko's. Shit. I'm in danger, Naruto thought. Naruto, tomorrow. After showing them the village, Naruto told them he needed to leave to prepare for the upcoming Chunin exams. Everyone told him good night except the red-haired girl. Sealing, he said, his hand slammed on a scroll. Various ninja items disappeared in a puff of smoke, sealed inside the scroll. The blonde had prepared several scrolls, just in case he needed them. Everything from sleeping pills, soldier pills, stamina pills, and even painkillers, though he preferred not to use the latter. Since yesterday, he knew something was off with this exam, especially when he met Gar. While sending the Jinchuriki to a foreign country for the Chunin exams wasn't an unknown practice. They usually send Jinchuriki who had some control over their Bijuu, yet, Gar's seal was so fragile, they could very easily break at any moment. One wrong emotion at the wrong time would be enough to set Shikaku free. How Hiruzen allowed an unstable Jinchuriki on the village was beyond him. Naruto didn't blame Gar, but the blonde knew the serious danger of bringing someone like him into a village without supervision. Naruto just hoped that Hiruzen had told Jiraiya the Sannin to return back to the village. While those days he was mainly useful for writing porn, Naruto knew he was outstanding in sealing. Someone like him could easily deal with someone like Gar if he went berserk. But if Gaara went berserk and Jiraiya wasn't around, Naruto would deal with him. Seeing Yugito, the blonde knew the Hokage had probably accepted his scroll. Now, whether or not they would actually make an alliance remains to be seen. Sealing everything, Naruto made a double check to see if everything was ready. Since Anko had no job until 10 minutes before the first part of the exam ended, she was lazily sleeping in his bed, the sheet covering her naked glory from the waist down, since she apparently enjoyed sleeping without sheets, saying it was most uncomfortable, even in the middle of winter. Her naked breasts looked very inviting, especially her pink nipples, just waiting to be kissed and sucked, but the blonde restrained himself since he didn't want to get late, not to mention he had her screaming his name the whole night, passing out after the 5th orgasm. Standing up, he prepared to leave when a hand grabbed his wrist, stopping him from leaving, looking back to see Anko looking at him with lust and love. "Good morning, Anko-chan," Naruto greeted her. His snake mistress didn't reply, instead used her other hand to massage his cock through his pants. He felt himself getting very hard as she slipped his pants down, and his cock almost slapped her face, not that she would have minded. Instead, she licked her lips slowly and seductively. "Anko, the exams start within an hour. I need SHHH. Once the Chunin exams start, I can't have you for a whole month due to my work," she said, lying on her back, her head hanging upside down just a bit away from bed's frame. Opening her mouth wide, she took his links slowly, her tongue working to bring Naruto pleasure as he groaned. Her mouth was always amazing. But looking at her naked breasts, he slammed his hands on them, causing a loud snap sound, squeezing the smooth flesh, causing Anko to moan in pleasure before fucking Anko's mouth like a pussy. "You're so good at this, Anko," Naruto moaned as he slammed his cock over and over again in her mouth. Anko moaned in ecstasy as Naruto used his right hand to finger her dripping pussy. "It's so delicious," she thought with tears in her eyes as she almost gagged on his cock. She loved sucking his cock, she moaned louder as his fingers were playing with her nipples. Later, Naruto reached Shikamaru and Ino just in front of the academy. The place was boozing with people, genin, parents, and jonin. Genins who were excited to become Chunin and have more responsibility, parents who were afraid that this could be the last time they saw them since it was known that Genins died in Chunin exams. Jonins who simply walked their respective teams inside, encouraging them and giving some last-minute advice. "What took you so long?" Ino asked, first seeing her boyfriend land in front of them. Shikamaru simply yawned. He still didn't understand why he agreed to participate in this troublesome exam. Right now, he could have been in his bed, looking at the clouds. Instead, he was here with his teammates, and one of them looked relieved in a strange way, in a way he had seen before. Putting 2 and 2 together, he figured must be because of Anko Mitarashi. "This is so troublesome," Shikamaru thought. "I'm sorry, Ino-chan, I just needed to deal with the snake," the blonde boy answered, getting a confused look from Ino, before quickly realizing what he meant with a blush on her face. "Let's just get this over," Ino shouted, avoiding the eyes of her teammates. Shika and Naruto shared a look that said, "Did I do something?" Walking forward, the blonde Uzumaki was in the front with a smirk. "This is it, Team 10. This is our moment of glory. We are entering as Genins and will come out as Shunin," Naruto stated passionately. "Or come out dead," Shikamaru added with a little voice before getting a slap at the back of his head from the platinum-haired girl. "Be more optimistic," she shouted, in a way that, much to his horror, reminded him of his mother minus the frying pan. "Woman," he thought with a deadpan look on his face. A nudge on his shoulder made him escape his thoughts, turning his head to see Naruto. "Don't worry, Shika, I will protect my teammates with my life if I have to," he promised, a hand on their shoulders, both of them not knowing that he put a Hirshin seal on both of them. "Naruto's right, with him, we can do everything," Ino said before kissing him on the lips. Shika snorted before looking away, pulling away a string of saliva connecting their lips. "Wow, I didn't know you could be so forward. Perhaps later, I could show you a good time," Naruto whispered the last part, making Ino blush furiously, remembering when Naruto used his fingers to make her have the first orgasm in her life. "Can we please move along?" Shikamaru asked with annoyance, his eyebrows twitching, kind of like his mother when she was angry. "I'm sorry, Shika," Naruto apologized, rubbing the back of his head in embarrassment. Team 10 walked inside the courtyard of the academy. The blonde briefly glanced at the swing. It was still there. He briefly remembered himself alone and crying, but he shut those memories immediately. Entering the academy, Team 10 knew the danger awaiting them. Let's end this. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoyed. If you want the next part of this video, like, subscribe and comment down below, and turn on the bell notification. And also check out other videos that I have created and enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.